Welcome to the parts overview for the VR6 Turbo build. Obviously I do not have everything here on the table that I'm going to use because, some things are still in transit and I have not ordered some things yet. But I want to give you a little info on what we are going to use because I have already decided on pretty much everything. So I can tell you what I want to use and that's basically this stuff plus some other stuff I don't have here right now. First of all, what we want to start with is basically, or the most important thing would be the turbo manifold and turbo. The manifold is just a cheap cast manifold. Actually those are about 60 to 70 euros, so very cheap, but due to them being cast they are very reliable and they usually do not fail. So I went with this one. I hope this is going to be fitting with the turbo I've chosen because that one is rather large. Due to me wanting to kind of save the stock engine, and while it will have spool relatively late, I'm probably thinking it will have full boost at about 4500 to 5000 RPM. It's a GD40, well, Max Speeding World advertises it as a GD45, but it's actually a GD42 with a 106 housing T4 divided. So it's a twin scroll turbo, which we're going to have to change, or rather have to port to make it kind of a single scroll-ish, because our manifold isn't twin scroll, obviously. I don't have the core and the compressor housing here right now because I need to source a drain flange, because this one is the wrong one. It's a T3 drain flange and the turbo is actually a T4. We will also have to port the manifold, so we'll do that in the later episode, because the manifold is a T3 T4, so it has both flange patterns and it has the outlet size of a T3, so we'll need to make it a little bit bigger to match the port of the T4 turbo. Well, some people might say that's not really necessary. I think it will help spool, and that's pretty much, we want to get all the help we can get with this setup. Wastegate wise, I'm going to use a 44mm tile knockoff wastegate. In my experience those work well, and if you set up overboost protection on a standalone ECU, which we are going to use, then that's not going to be a big deal. ECU wise, we're going for Rust EFI, so as I've used in my MX-5, I've had good experience with it, so I'm going to wire it into the stock harness for the Golf as well, which should work relatively easy. I'll make a separate episode on that also. Then we have some dash fittings for the oil feed and drain lines. I'm going to run the oil drain into the sump, and I'm going to just weld in a lambda bung, so that's an M15 by 1.5 I think thread, so I can just weld this in and close it off until I need it, and then I can just use another dash fitting to get like a dash 10 oil drain into it. So that should be pretty easy, but I need to pull the sump and weld that in first. And also that's a stainless insert, not an aluminum insert, because the oil pan is also steel. Then we have, for the downpipe, I still have the straight piping missing. I have some 3-inch piping, and I had to order a 3.25 inch outlet V-band, because the GT45 from Expeding Rods uses a 3.25 inch outlet V-band and not a normal 3-inch or a 3.5 inch, so I had to source that, which got kind of expensive with shipping, but still it got here. So I have this spare ring basically, and a 3-inch normal V-band to make the downpipe fit. I already built a 2.5 inch exhaust. That's going to be in the next episode. I'm going to show you that. We have just a basic catch can just to get the breathers into something and to catch any oil if there should be any blow-by. Then for fuel system, well, I don't have the complete fuel system here right now. We're going to just use an in-tank fuel pump. This is an FMIC Pro one. I was debating going for an AM one, but I was intrigued and want to know if those work well, because this one's supposed to be 400 liters per hour and should be more than enough for our purposes. Also, FMIC is supporting us with this build, or generally with this channel. We are getting not sponsored in this way, but we are getting a rebate, which is good, so we don't have to spend as much as we would, although it's still quite a lot, or we still probably are going to be within the 5K budget, but it is going to be relatively close all in all. Then some things we don't have here is the intake manifold. The intake manifold is going to be definitely aftermarket, because on the VR6 the stock intake manifold goes to the back of the engine, so there's no space to run a turbo, so you need a short one that is in front of the engine, and basically you have easier routing to your intercooler. While yes, there are solutions to make it work, the intake manifolds aren't that expensive. The one I've bought is 155 euros and it's on the way right now. Injectors, we will use 470cc. Those should be enough for the 500 horsepower. If they are not, I'm going to use a 4-bar fuel pressure regulator that will up our fuel pressure from 3 bar, and then it should definitely be enough for at least 500 horsepower. And well, we'll hope we'll achieve this with the stock engine anyway. Then some things we don't have is intercooler piping and intercooler. I will get a used intercooler from a friend of mine, and I have some 2.5-inch stainless steel piping and connectors which I'm going to use. So I haven't laid that all out here, but that's also going to be going in there. The intercooler is probably going to be a 230 by 550 by 65 millimeter unit, because on the Golf 3 you don't have a lot of room for intercoolers in general. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but due to me not having a functional AC system, so I already pulled that out. The condenser was broken and the compressor isn't working, so it does not make much sense keeping it in there. And yeah, that should be pretty much it. If I forgot something, or if I forgot something to mention and you want to know, let me know, I guess. We're obviously also going to use a wideband, but due to the RusEFI having an integrated controller, we only need to buy the sensor, so that's only going to be the sensor part. And I'm going to do 1 or 2 videos on the RusEFI conversion on the car. Should be pretty easy because we're not doing a complete wiring harness, but still I'm going to do it nevertheless. That's it for this video for our parts selection. And in the next video we will be showing off the exhaust I built, and yeah, stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I wish you a nice day, and goodbye.